and Max Radio, or Radio Max as is popularly known here in this part of the country. And here on Climate Talks, we are immensely grateful to the German people through the German mission here in Accra for supporting this actionable plan that we always put forward when we bring together policymakers, civil society, traditional authorities, and you in the audience who always bring up ideas to shape up issues confronting our climate. Well, in the fifth of this edition, we're bringing you a topic that borders on the railway sector. What we're doing today is looking at sustainable mobility and focusing on the potential that the railway sector has for you. And despite the shifting sands of geopolitics, the German mission here in Accra has found it worthy of supporting climate talks, which we're bringing to you from the Western region today. I am Blessed Suga, and I've got to say that if you're as excited as I am for joining the conversation today, please help me with a round of applause as we introduce to you our panelists and our guests gracing today's occasion. And just as we are pointing out to you here on the JoyNews channel, indeed we are enjoying a great support from the German people, and of course in due course you hear why the German embassy here in Accra has been supporting climate talks. But we're, as I was indicating to you earlier, in the Western regional capital. So, as customs would demand, there is a need for us to hear from our host region as to how excited they are about today's conversation. If we are talking about the railway sector, there's no way we can leave out the Western region. And that's why we're fortunate to have in our midst the regional minister for the western side of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the Honorable Joseph Nelson for joining us. Please come on. Please come up, yes. Honorable, thank you so much for joining us. First, we want to hear briefly from you because we're in the Western region. There's no way we can talk about the railway sector if the Western region is left out. So, first of all, your impression about the decision to bring climate talks here and how excited you are about this.
Well, let me first welcome you to the Western region. We say the best comes from the West. And so, it's exciting to see JoyNews in the capital of the Western region, Sekondi Takoradi, ECMA to be specific. And to go on to say that the theme for this program, which is all about the railways, is very apt. You mentioned railways, and it's Sekondi Takoradi. And so the people of the region are yearning to see railways resurrected. Basically now it appears to be dead. So we think that this is a very important topic for the people of the Western region. And I wish to welcome everybody who is here. The German ambassador who has come all the way from Accra to join us, and has not only done that, but is also funding. The embassy is also, I believe, funding this program. And I think that this is some commendable effort. And he needs a lot of applause for his effort. The rest of the participants, I believe that have all been attracted to this program because of the theme. Because railways, like I did indicate earlier, is something that is on the heart of the people of the Western region. And so any day you mention railways, and you want to have some discussions on that topic, I believe that people of the West will be attracted to, that discussion. And I'm not surprised that we have men and women here who are ready to participate in the discussion. So once again, welcome to the Western region, where the best comes from.
Indeed, the best comes from the West. A round of applause again for the regional minister. And this will set the tone for our conversation for today. But the journalist in me is not allowing me to allow the minister to go immediately without asking him about government's plan for sustainable mobility within not just Western region, but outside the region as well. The plans for integrating railway into our transport system. Are there any plans in place for that?
A very good question. If you have observed the 2024 manifesto of the NDC, you would realize that in there is some major pronouncement on how the government is going to deal with the issue of railways and its development. And so it's something that the government has its eyes on. I believe that not long from now we'll see some action on that front. It is important for us in the Western region to emphasize this point of the need to resurrect the railway sector, because, as you well know, this region is well endowed with lots of natural resources, manganese, gold, timber, and all the rest of them that you know of already. The challenge has been how some of these resources are hauled from the hinterlands to the port of Takoradi, which puts a lot of pressure on the road. As we speak, we have bauxite coming all the way from Awaso to the port of Takoradi. We have manganese coming from Nsuta, Takwa, to the port of Takoradi. These two alone put a lot of pressure on our roads. And so you will realize that when roads are constructed, it takes a short time to see them deteriorate. And so it's a concern that has been expressed by many, and it will continue to be a concern until such time that the railway sector will be sorted out, so that we're able to basically move these important resources from where they are mined to the port of Takoradi. I think that is going to be a big relief indeed for the people of the Western region. Let me, I know you welcome Nana, but Nana is right by me, and is a dad, is somebody that we all admire and respect. He's the president of the Western Regional House of Chiefs. He's been very helpful in helping us keep the peace in this region. Nana, you are welcome. And so he knows, he has all the history, of the railway sector. And I'm only scratching the surface. When he gets the opportunity, you will hear that he has a lot to say on this subject. And so, Nana, welcome. But to go back to the point that we need to bring relief to our roads so that we're able to prolong their lives. Otherwise, if we continue like this, in no time, even the new ones that are being constructed from here all the way to Takwa, now the Akumenim to Takwa is done, but it has come under serious stress because of this same matter I spoke about. Takoradi to Aguna is under construction, but it's the same route that these trucks use. And so this is a very, very, very important discussion to have. And I believe that with the commitment of government to see the railway sector come up again, I believe that it's something that the Western region is very much looking up to. And when it happens, which I believe it will be such a big relief to all of us. So thank you very much. This will be my initial comment for me.
I know. And just to state that the regional minister has other engagements for today, so if you see him moving out, it's not out of disrespect, but it's because he has a number of engagements for the day. But what a great time to also be acknowledging the presence of Nana Kwabena Nketia V, who is the paramount chief of the Esikado traditional area and also president of the Western Regional House of Chiefs. Please, a round of applause for Nana for joining us. Nana, we are grateful for your time this afternoon. And he's rich in history, so he will be giving us a bit of a background, and also as we feed that into sustainable mobility for today. We're also employing the power of technology. So Professor Kwesi Kwafo Adakwa, who is the former Vice Chancellor of the KNUST, will be joining us via Zoom and making a few points as we proceed. But just to remind you again that Climate Talks, as always, is brought to you by JoyNews. Today we're enjoying support from some of our sister stations. So if you're within the Western region, you'll be watching us on New Day TV, and Radio Max is also picking us live. So we're grateful to our sister channels for also supporting us this afternoon. And as always, to the German government for supporting us and making this possible. So it's a good time also to just hear a few words from the German ambassador, Frederick Landshöft, who is the latest, call him the latest ambassador in town, and you won't be far from right. Ambassador, you have the floor, and thank you for joining us. Thank you.
And reimagine. And today we ask one of the most pressing questions of all. How will we move people, goods, ideas in a climate-conscious future? Ghana's revised national determined contributions offer a powerful answer. Yes to growth, yes to inclusion, but also yes to bold climate action and a shift towards cleaner, smarter infrastructure. That ambition resonates with us in Germany. We are also undergoing a massive transport transformation. We've just adopted a multi-billion euro infrastructure package, not just for climate reasons, but because we know a strong infrastructure means a strong economy, less congestion, more jobs, cleaner air. It is not just an environmental decision, it's a strategic one. But there is the key point. We are not here to offer blueprints. We don't know whether rail is the silver bullet for Ghana's future. But what we know is this: asking the question is the right thing, and creating space for dialogue among engineers, traditional leaders, scholars, citizens is the responsible thing. The answer must come from Ghana, from its people, its thinkers, its elected and customary leaders. Our role as Germany is to cooperate, to learn as much as we share, and to stand side by side as partners in progress. Ladies and gentlemen, transport is more than just movement. It's connectivity, it's equity, it's climate policy in motion. In Ghana, rail once connected the mines to the ports, the hinterland to the coast. Today, with rising urbanization and growing regional trade, it may become a backbone for sustainable development. But only if the right questions are asked and answered boldly. So let me close with this. The climate crisis doesn't care who caused it, or who ignored it, or who doubted it. It affects us all, and it requires us all. So whether in Hamburg or in Takoradi, whether in Black Forest or the Bia River Basin, we are all in the same carriage. The question is not whether to move, but how and with whom. So let's move together. Thank you, JoyNews, for the collaboration. Thank you, Takoradi, for hosting us. Medase.
And of course, that's a clear indication that he's really learning fast and learning some of our terms here. Grateful to Frederick Landshöft, who's the German ambassador to Ghana. Just to point out that Emeritus Professor Kwesi Kwafu-Adako is joining us via Zoom, and so intermittently would have him join us. Now to Nana Kobina Nketia, who is with us. We'll be, hearing from him in terms of history and what the background is to this whole railway sector in our part of the country. But I understand that Emeritus Professor Kwesi Adakwa would want to make a few introductory remarks. Prof, you have the floor, and if we could just briefly hear your interventions on sustainable mobility.
Thank you very much. I'm happy for the occasion and then for your invitation. But generally, if you look at our country, we have transport poverty all around us. And the idea of sustainability makes it even more important. So I'm hoping that at the end of this, we'll be able to fashion out a pattern for the development of railway on a sustainable basis in our country. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof, and we'll be coming to you shortly. As I indicated earlier, of course, there's quite a busy schedule for the regional minister, so probably we'll just take his last points on the sector before we let him go, and I'm really going to tie that into how you're protecting the already pre-existing rail lines that we have. Yesterday, you went on a tour of some of the facilities within the region. And we know that some activities, maybe of illegal miners and others, are beginning to threaten what we already have. So what steps are you taking to ensure that you protect what we have, whilst we build on what else we want to build on?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, until we have the sector revamped, we need to protect what we have. And so it's most unfortunate that we witnessed what we all saw on our screens yesterday. The damage to the existing rail lines at some point around the Takwa area. This is that some of those who were involved in that illegal activity have been arrested and are facing the full rigors of the law. That is a relief. But back to your question about how to really keep these existing tracks intact. It stretches to, not just the level of the security agencies, but the communities along the rail lines, the Ghana Railways Company itself. Because from what I learned yesterday, their capacity to even monitor the lines is also very challenged, because the vehicle that hitherto was useful for doing that exercise is no longer able to do that. It's down, basically. And so they are unable to, scan the full length of the line from Takwa to Takoradi. And that is how come some of these people are able to take advantage to do what they do. So yesterday I told them that they should really put something in place to check. Because what we saw yesterday, it's possible that there are some sections of the line that there are some, of these activities happening there. And so they should immediately scan the full length to see the full extent of the damage, whether we have similar issues along the line or not. Then we are able to appreciate really what is happening there. Beyond that, the police have also been tasked to really intensify their patrols so that we're able to deal with all those who will be emboldened to want to take, this risky venture of going on the railway line. So I think that all of us who are involved, the MCE, and then the communities. Yesterday I had the opportunity to speak to Achim, the community where this incident happened. And it's mind-blowing that these activities happen just, in the community. And I believe that if somebody had been, public-spirited enough to, call the police early, would have perhaps stemmed it before it degenerated into, the levels that we see. And so measures have been put in place. We want to see.
So you need public support, that's what you're saying?
Yes. The fight against this illegality is not just, or must not just be left to the security services. Elsewhere, informants, the role of informants is very important, even in the developed countries. Informant, when you see something and it's not right and you need to report, you do so. Otherwise, imagine the full stretch from Takwa to Takoradi. There are some portions that ordinarily nobody will see what has happened there, because as we have it, the tracks are no longer in use because we don't have trains, moving up and down it. So we have weeds taking portions of it. So it's not even easy to see what is happening on the underside if we don't do a full scan, And so it's important that we look at it. Railways is able to go on it from time to time to see what is happening so that we are better informed. If there are any illegalities happening there, then we take action. Okay, so all the levers have been activated, all the things we need to do to really protect what remains. We put those ones in place, and we are sure that going forward. Personally, I'm going to be monitoring it. I've taken a keen interest from time to time. I'll be on them to see what is actually happening. I believe that we'll be able to protect them. So thank you so very much.
Thank you so much. And please give it up for the Honorable Joseph Nelson as he goes off stage. But I was explaining earlier that he has quite a number of activities for the day. So, Honorable Minister, we're grateful that you joined us today and spent some time with us for today. Grateful indeed for your time. And of course, it's a good time now to continue our conversation, but please keep giving it up for the regional minister as we obviously usher him out of stage. But I also have to point out that we have the president of the Western Regional House of Chiefs with us, and he will be helping us understand, the history behind it. As the regional minister pointed out, there's a need for community participation and community support. We're grateful once again to the regional minister for joining us. And now, Nana, to you. Apologies if we kept you waiting, but obviously it's because of the exigencies of the time. But what I want us to do now is to come to you to address the issue of air pollution, traffic congestion, and, degraded roads, which come with a number of associated challenges to our health, isn't it? And all of these issues are the grounds for which we believe that we ought to be talking about sustainable mobility, whilst we take into account the potential that the railway sector has. But Nana, you'd have to wait for us a few more minutes. We have this package for our viewers watching us at home and to those of you in the audience, just to give us a background to why we are having this conversation today. Please enjoy.
Built in 1896, Ghana's railway system once carried the lifeblood of the nation's economy: cocoa, timber, bauxite, manganese. But after decades of neglect, the same lines that drove progress are now symbols of decay. 5 years ago, hope returned. After 12 years of silence, the passenger rail from Takoradi to Takwa roared back to life.
And seeing the train on the line to Takwa, the last time we got to Takwa was September 2007. And even with that one was on Accra train and Kumasi train, where the passengers will have to drop at Takwa.
Today, those same lines have been taken over not by passengers but by illegal miners. The stretch between Bonsare and Nsuta is now a mining field. The noise of drills replaces the sound of trains. The land trembles not from locomotives but from excavators. At Achem, near the site of the new standard gauge railway project, illegal miners dig directly beneath active tracks, threatening a multi-million-dollar national investment.
We have already reported this to our sector minister, Honorable Bukari. He has also informed His Excellency the President. I've been assured that there will be an interministerial task force that will be constituted to help us address the issue of the galamsees. As I mentioned before, this cannot be one spot assessment. It must be a routine, enforcement to make sure that we can address the issue of the galamsey menace on the Western Railway line, which forms what I call a part of our critical national infrastructure project.
His fears are valid. Once the busiest haulage route, the Takoradi Nsuta line, now lies crippled, and so does the company that depends on it.
You bear with me that the rail sector, if anything you do there is capital intensive. We don't have the infrastructure to generate enough revenue to pay ourselves, let alone do maintenance works. As I speak with you, Honorable, I know you may have heard for some time now, exactly 6 months, am I right? The railway worker has not received salary. And Honorable Minister, I am not going to blame this government. What we are seeing now is a cumulative effect. When I say cumulative effect, I know we will all understand. It didn't start from this government.
Desperate messages greets visitors. We need investors. Government, please help us. We are hungry.
We had an agreement from GMC. GMC is Ghana Manganese Company. They made some proposals. They gave it to us. We also did a counter proposal. This proposal, I've been assured, it's gone to the minister and it has gone to the president. Honorable, please follow up for us. Follow up for us. I'm begging you in the name of God. Through Jesus Christ, I'm begging you. Because if you don't do that, this company will collapse. Will collapse. We on our own, we can't do it. Can we do it?
For companies like Ghana Manganese, the collapse of the rail network is costly. A journey that should take 63 kilometers by rail now stretches 92 kilometers by road at triple the cost, and with devastating effect on the environment.
It will make economic sense if the rail is in a very good shape for us to haul all the material by rail than looking at the road. If we're coming, you saw a lot of trucks from Hawaso to by road, us also by road. But rail would have been the best option. If years, we support them, we support them to repair, kept the rail line active for us. But as we speak, it's completely out of operation.
For residents living along the line, the shutdown means more than lost cargo.
First, na train all you man. Na highest. Coffee pee bahaba party. And so my be able to be a water and tent. But since a train on you, so I'm at the turn. Why a bazaar?
It's a federal the man Muhammad. I'm about to turn the back of our man.
The government says work has resumed on part of the Western Railway line with new partnership to revive haulage and passenger service. The upcoming Climate Talk 2025 here in Takoradi will again place rail transport at the heart of Ghana's sustainable mobility agenda. But for now, as illegal miners dig beneath the nation's heritage, the question remains, will Ghana's railway future stay on track or be buried under its own soil?
So now you understand why this conversation is very important for us. In the last few minutes, we've been joined by the Railway Workers Union. They are represented here on stage by the General Secretary, Brother Benjamin Esuman. Welcome, sir, and grateful to have you.
Thank you.
Nana, now I can finally come to you because I was itching to hear the history about it. When we talk of the Western region, definitely we cannot leave out the Western region if we're talking about the railway sector because of the history dating back to our colonial era. But why is, help us understand that history before we get all into it. Why is the Western region known for its landmark rail lines, if I should call it?
Well, first let me thank the Yemen ambassador for the beautiful words he said here. It was nice coming here and listening to an European talking about being the same and so on, and also worried about things like climate, because there are no borders. Every border in Africa was created from Berlin, and we are paying a huge price for it. We think that the whole continent is divided. So when you take people like me, the war is against Berlin, the 1884-85 Berlin, and what it did to Africa. And today we are sitting here. Why did they create the colonies? They were all business interests. And the business interests that take an area of Africa, exploit it as much as you can, for those who are in Europe. And that is what has brought us here. If you think about the railways, Ghana to the colonialists was a very simple thing. It was just a business concern, profit and loss. I hope you understand that. It was profit and loss. What is happening to France now? You know that is because the AES are withdrawing themselves from uranium and so on. It's the same thing. Take out whatever you can, and that's all that there is. So if they put in the railways, then they didn't put it in for your interest. They put it in for their interest. So who are those who came to do the railways? They were businessmen. Where did they go to? The objective was to get to where bauxite is, where manganese is, where the gold is, and see how they cut them out at the cheapest rates for themselves. The railways was not built for Ghanaians. It wasn't built for Africans. But we worked. And so, till the time that Nkrumah came, see that we only had Kumasi, and then it was like a V, over 10 V. Then Nkrumah cut the thing short at Huni Valley and put a line from Huni Valley to join the Accra line and go back. Now, the most interesting thing, as I always say, is that, okay. The most interesting thing about the railways that I always say is that the British put the railways in order to take exploiters, but then we use the railways to kick them out. We use the railways to kick them out. There was the railway workers who virtually got rid of colonialism, that aspect of raw colonialism. Of course, that doesn't mean that our mind has been liberated, but they got rid of it at a point in time. In 1961, when they had the strike, the big railway strike to remove Nkrumah, they met my late uncle, who they saw as their chief. And I hear my uncle told them, "No one railway for when you come in Nkrumah, said, don't want to know now." That's why it was like an Asafo company. And when I was young, whenever you heard the railway union, their Asafo number 0, with their gong, then you know there was trouble, wearing red. Of course, today, having 14,000 people working for them, now I think that there are less than 1,000 people. And it's virtually dead. It will be quite interesting if you also provoke thought in the universities to do a study of the effect of the collapse, and I'm deliberately using the word collapse, of the railways on the culture of Sekenita Grade. Because you see a place disintegrating, culturally disintegrating, and you know that this whole area developed because of the railways. We were moved out of where we lived at the beach. Most people don't even know that Escado or British Sekendi was part of it. It's partly European town. And we're kicked out to where we are because that whole area, they told my predecessors that that area was going to be used for the railways. Of course, today somebody sits somewhere in Accra and calls it government land, doesn't even call it railway land. And they disperse it the way they want to disperse it. You don't have money to go and take a colonial lawyer. So you sit down and watch the abuse of your ancestral lands by people who refer to it as government land.
Yeah.
But putting that aside, young man, I'm here mainly because the conversation is about the railways. Yeah. I wouldn't be here. But I still believe, as he was saying, that our only salvation as a country lies in the railways. However we develop it, we can. And then to point it out, some countries have developed railways without foreign investment. No foreigner is going to come and develop the railways for you. I've sat at a meeting where they were discussing a road construction. And I was sitting down feeling like laughing and crying. Why? Because that road that we were taking a loan to construct and pay, what's the name of that thing? Interest on the road. It was going to an area and to be used to cut our resources out. So they were building it for Europe. But we take it that, we'll pass on it for the next 10 years. And so that is it. And we're going to pay interest on it. Why? Couldn't we have done the railroad to that section? I could go on and on about this, but I'll leave it to you. Yeah. And then let me just correct something. Right. I am an honorary member of the Railway Union, even though they think that I am the patron. but I'm actually an honorary member of the Railway Union. So that's what I should tell you.
That's a good one. So which means that you're in a good position to push for behavioral change. But let's hear from the rail workers as well. I mean, what would you say is the status right now, especially from the Western region where you operate? And Nana was just giving us a vivid picture of how we had thousands of you, but now the numbers have dwindled. Is that affecting your operations, and is that affecting sustainable mobility as well?
Thank you. Talking about the state now, as Nana said, our patron said, railway is collapsed, and it's due to the infrastructure. And railway is over 100 and something years, and due to the problem, like, it's not about the downsides of the workers. It's about the maintenance culture too, and the strong institution that will take in charge of the railway system. So all that we are saying is that if there's resource, they fuel the company with a lot of resource, that's the infrastructure, the rolling stock and everything, I think we'll be able to operate as usual. So like the olden times where we were hauling cocoa, manganese, bauxite, and still government were supporting the railway sector with 70% of their weight bill. And along the line, they stopped. So that money was able to resource them in other operational costs. But since it stopped, it has another implications. So we are saying that if we have the strong institution and the maintenance culture, I think everything will be in line.
How do we...
Wait, let me just add something to what he's saying. Because he's emphasizing on the maintenance culture as if it's the fault of the workers. Look, when you build a road, you maintain it. When you build a road, you devote money and maintain the road for cars to pass on. Why don't you devote money to build the rail and maintain the rail? And you know that the rail transport is much, much, much cheaper. And when you do the analysis, the cost is about the same. So why? But you talk as if it's not the workers maintain. No. Because it is the duty of those in charge of governance to ensure that whatever the railway needs to make sure that it is maintained, they give it to them. It's as simple as ABC.
I was just going to ask, so how then do we revive it in your view?
How we revive it? Because we, the union, we are in the view that due to the capital-intensive nature of the railway system, we will preach for PPP, that's public-private partnership into the system. Along the line, we were engaging the Ghana manganese last year. But through the negotiation, we couldn't finish. And unfortunately, the change of government came to place. And still, we are waiting for the government to respond. We have done all the necessary changes. We sent a lot of letters to them that due to the state now, there's nobody can do it, not even the management of the GNCL. No. So as Nana said, when you go to a nationwide or other parts of the countries, when the railway is built, it's the duty of the government to do the maintenance culture and everything. So if then government is not putting in any private partnership, then it's the duty of the government to come back and then do the infrastructures and hand over to the operator. So that's
well, let me just cut in and help my son here. You want bauxite and you want to bring it by road. No. Create a railway line to the bauxite site. Let it be part of it. But if you say that, go and find the people who own the trucks that are bringing, and as soon as you see them, they are in competition. But if it becomes part of the contract, you want to mine bauxite, you want to mine gold, look at the lithium that they are bringing, they want to bring it along the road. Did you come by? Did you fly?
No, we use the road.
Thank God. You saw how bad it is. And you saw how many trucks are on it. When you're going to Takwa, sometimes you count within an hour, you count 400 articulators. That's a devil's activity. So, young man, the thing is that those who are interested in our, in our resources, the earth resources, they must build a rail line to those sources. And till then, not that, I mean, it can be BOT, as he says, but it is their responsibility. If not, they won't get the bauxite. If not, they won't get the manganese. You don't go and negotiate with them. It should be part of that discussion. I hope you understand me. That is right now. If you go to China, there are trains that run about 400 or probably more kilometers per hour. Why can't I go to Accra, work there and come back if the rail system is working? It's all a matter of dreaming. You need to dream railways, sleep railways, eat railways, and when you do that, the idea will come that this is what we must do. When did we do the Cape Coast Secondary Road? How much did the road cost? And yet, now we are going to rebuild the roads, not for ordinary transport people. I mean, I use a little car, but you are going to build them for the trucks hauling ceramic thing to Shama. Why? Why? Yangina.
Nana, but
I think I better go. You're wasting my time.
Nana, so the issue about reshaping, public perception around it, is that how do we, change?
No. It's anybody who is coming into governance must have a dream about what he wants to do with the transport system within this country. Look at the nodas that we have, the harbors, and yet I liked the current president John Mahama talking about taking us to Burkina and so on. We must be linked one way or the other by the rail. We've allowed it to collapse in the interest of whom? That's why I said, you're a journalist. Go and find out those who own the articulators, and you'll start understanding the reason why we seem to be having problems. Because they are also the ones who find fun parties. Look, one president told me, I don't want to mention his name, Nana, every penny that we earn from the oil, we're going to use it to construct the railways. Was one in Chimpakawa. And we kept quiet. It wasn't just me alone. There were other chiefs there. So ask us, even the oil coming out, what can we show that we got out of the oil? What can we show? The thing that they do, what do a friend? Pardon? AstroTurf, which you guess what, please. We should think about using even that for infrastructural development. But then, those who are interested in our resources must also pay a price for taking our resources to where they want to use them.
Okay, and gentlemen, you'd have to hold on. I'm told that Emeritus Professor Kwesi Kwafo Adakwa is also on with us.
Actually, let me just add, that's my classmate.
Right, okay, great. So your classmate is on. Professor Adakwa, so let's get to it in terms of what we know. In terms of emissions, 25% of global emissions we know can be linked to trucks as well, or transport via road. In your view, using science, or STEM, I should say, how can we transform that? By, having in mind issues relating to the rail sector.
Thank you very much. I can understand where Nana is coming from. As he said, I know him very well. I'm not surprised at all about his reaction. I mean, it hurts. But let's come to reality. I think that there are a lot of issues which you bundle together, and to pick just the environment may be unfair. But I'll look at that. I'll look at that quickly and address that. What you see here is that if you talk about the environment, I would like us to take a typical street in Accra or Kumasi or Sekondi Takoradi and look at it. Look at the number of vehicles or the congestion that we have on those sections. But if you use the suburban rail or light rail, for example, we're able to mop up a lot of the passengers from their vehicles. And giving a higher level other service, these people can easily switch to the suburban rail. And that is directly how we can save fuel and how we can mop up the excess harm that we're doing to the environment. That is number one. But Related to this, there are a lot of other environmental factors which will endure or which we can reduce if we make extensive use of the railway. So in short, this is all I want to say. Related to the environment, we can improve it if we use the railway substantially. We can reduce traffic congestion in our towns, but even for the environment, the area just around the stations, you heard a woman when she spoke. She says that with the railway, they had a lot of things to do. When you're selling things, they go very fast. But these days, they hang up. There's nothing for them to do, and when you sell, people don't even buy. In much the same sense, you see a few areas, and because there was construction, what we can now see is that the runoff is properly channeled into their turnouts, to their drains, and so on and so forth. But those are other issues that we can address subsequently. But the major one would be the savings that will occur to society as a whole when we encourage people or we make it possible for people to start using mass means of transportation, railway being number one, instead of using their personal means of mobility. But generally, as I said in my intro, it appears that there are still parts of the country which are still transport poor. There's no other means. If you take the central link, for example, between Kotoku and I think Suta, some people don't have any other means of transportation except the rail. And therefore, it's important that we look at the rail closely. Nana mentioned something about Burkina Faso and so on. I think I would like to say that I was part of the team that did the assessment, and as we speak now, the line has been developed. I think it's over about close to 90 kilometers up to Mpakadan. And what we're doing is that we're giving people a choice. If you have a container coming from outside or offshore, you can rail it, you can put it on the rail all the way to Mpakadan. And when you get to Mpakadan, you still have a choice, either to continue it through to Buipe on the Volta Lake or to continue it by the train subsequently into the other country. So these are some of the things I would like to say in terms of the environment. There seems to be a lot, but let me hold on, and if you need my contribution,
all right,
I'll be more than happy to come.
Prof, we're grateful for your intervention. For the sake of time, what I would want us to do is to open up the floor. We'll come to the audience. So while you ready yourself, if you have any questions, please, they'll pass the microphone around shortly. We're live on the New Day TV and also Max Radio. We're live on these two platforms in the Western region. So you can keep sending your comments over as well. You had wanted to make a quick intervention then.
Yeah. I want to state that we'll keep on talking about this railway system if we don't call a spade and take a bold decision, bring up a policy, because those using the tracks are the same big men and the politicians in Ghana. So how are they going to even dream or eat the railway? So there's a way that we have to take a bold decision that there should be a policy concerning the bauxite and the manganese, cocoa, and that they will be used only the rail line to all those things. Other than that, we will always keep on talking about the railway sector, how to go about it and how to deal with it. So all that we are saying that there should be a policy. There should be a policy and a very long-term sustainability financial model that will bring the long-term plan to the railway sector.
Okay, grateful. And just a reminder that this is Climate Talks. We're coming to you from the Western region. I'm here with my colleague Samuel Kojo-Brace, who would also be helping us break down some of the issues for friends and family who may not understand expression in the English language. But we'll open the floor now. There are some questions, correct? Okay, yes.
My name is Karina Moses. I'm the Assembly Member for Railway and Harbour Electoral Area. I'm a daughter of railway parents. I know how it feels like. Growing up, I knew how railway was. And I wouldn't say I was unfortunate, but I would say that it was during my time in the secondary school when the crisis that railway phase started. That is from 2000. I was in school as at 2005. We went through a lot. We've suffered. But one thing that I would say is if there is any challenge or suggestion that I can give, I would expect the government to also look at the managerial system of the Ghana Railway. There is no way that you have a dentist head the teaching the NAT, that is Ghana National Association of Teachers. You don't have a dentist head in it. So when you have a railway corporation or company limited, then it is being headed by somebody who has no or little idea about the Ghana railway system. Where do we go? Our parents are suffering. The people in the Ghana railway now is going through a lot. I have experiences with parents who have their children in the secondary school now, and you will not believe what they are going through because the banks are not giving them loans. There are youths in my electoral area. Growing up, you would see young boys, when they are done with the secondary schools, the best place they would want to be is the Ghana Railway. The story is not the same now. You have children of the railway workers who are suffering. They are going through a lot with nothing or no support. We thank you for this forum, but we are praying that please say it out loud, because the people we living in the railway quarters are going through a lot. Whenever you walk through our quarters and you see a building, the moment you see how dilapidated that building is, you know that that building is for a railway worker.
Right.
The story is not that simple. Please, turn your eyes
to that sector. Indeed. Grateful. Let's do some more. I see some hands. Yeah, okay. There's one in front. Yes.
Joseph Kinsley from GPRTU. I'm there, and I didn't die for Ninty. I'm there, with the Bible form. Medase Papa. Mentime with that dry news, what by what railway station, what, Haboho. Menimara, they saw what they did there. I wrote some pan of Wabody. Share a Dana station, I will see you off FFA. See, I like you say, you one in Sulota in Subotrian. About wrote some notes to me. Yes, sir. The railway Funanka Sankasan and one button because one. So, what lay a bibi mpoa, Makade, one Cassan poem that one flower. What by no bit Accra, narrow gauge, only Manadaban. Nanso Swan, on no determine issues to them one. Yabasra one. Because of Mayor GPRTU Unia, may what transport set an inti. Since America say, Nana Bodo. Somewhere 2017 to 2018. Nana Kade, Ampa. Meet na yaya na wakroma praza. Okada onabujo gate so went to deliver within 2 years Obama resign. Ya pocho deliver ya. Yes, Rawan. What's rehabilitation? What constructed road from here to Takwa? What a trying between Kojok and Takwan train is for ye delayment. One wa 4 car was on bay. Me pocho kwan wire. Yabasra one. JoyNews for so waba ma may in your theory. Practicals in here and papa. America say miss one railway stations and one conquer. Stations are work constructed with a new facility. One way CCR and Suto CCM to Minginum. Train line way to Tunin Arabi said there. One animal was time for railway license now. What on turning? Nina kwa scraps, Hansel Toyota. Dama Mr. Camille railway niba. What one Nara? One no was sign, Pocho, railway for no was sign. Emma, what one damn scraps in another one anoma. Until your best one. See, Sierra, because of what to talk as that man and another can see a cocoa grant run about to her. Now, what the mangan in a basana. Within 30 minutes, you bring your 10 cars. What about saying, oh, yeah, one with the ISRA one, JoyNews won't call DVA or Wonka found out in Fabian.
Yo.
O Fita Quala by Quana or consorted Nancy Yalan, a Quana, let's say. Ampa, Eshayan, Casa Wabe CC, our friend and Kukanka and Kitty Toyota, small ones in offer. 7 passengers. Oh, no, need the mighty create your libby, a short sedan. Into yes, one consort train line for my hand. Na yentum, ye name Wabba consort train line from here to Paga, a basic sky train. I had to tap one po into one coamba. theory ne dawson yes ra one year practical.
All right, yeah, that's it. And so Brace will do a brief translation of that while we take the next one. Brace.
So
yes.
what he's basically saying is that there were a lot of promises, or been a lot of promises about the railway sector. He is questioning whether or not Joe Gatti was able to deliver on his promises. And he says there was once a rehabilitation. Once they were trying the line, there was a derailment. The officials joined cars to Takrady, and he's asking, has the rail lines been constructed? They say no. He's saying that when it comes to railway, we should allow the workers to talk, not people who don't have ideas about it. And he's also alleging that the people who own the tracks are the reason the rail lines are not working. And he's challenging JoyNews to go to DVLA and uncover the owners of these big trailers.
Right, grateful. Okay, sir.
Hello. Okay, my name is Samuel Apa Johnson. I'm just a resident of Senate here. Unfortunately, my questions, those who are supposed to answer the questions, I don't see them on the panel, unfortunately. The one who is representing the government is no longer the regional minister, I mean. Anyway, let me put my question. When Nana was speaking, Nana said he gave us the historical line of the railway. We have the western line, the eastern, and then the central. Okay. Now, most of it is not working. So I wanted to ask, what are we doing? Now the British colonial rule is no more. We are governing ourselves. What are we doing as a country to bring back those rail lines? And I've just been told that we have an intention of extending our rail line to Burkina Faso. Quite recently, very recently, I saw on the telly that they have constructed a new rail line to Tema and Mpakadan. I was just wondering how that fused into the national agenda. Are they going to conduct that rail and then connect it back to the main rail line to Kumasi to Burkina Faso, or it's coming out of the blue? Outside the master plan. That's my question.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, there's a hand up here, Blessed.
There's another hand. Okay,
yeah.
Let's do that. There are some people in front as well, so once we're done with that, yes.
My name is Patricia Badodraman. I'm a railway worker. Yeah, what I wanted to move to our local dialogue so that our queer mothers will hear us. Mposho mame pada meka ofan hene ejuma sami Mereshe yene Ahanta Road Ekwano from Agona Kwanta to Mekede Apollo Junction. That stretch Ekwana washas na lampo wie nimu insinto hawa warufem with those that they are constructing the road. So what I want to ask our chiefs on their Hunter Road, they say, what are they putting in to support the railway workers so that these trucks will stop using the road? Because I learned last 2 years, Tamana Warrior Takwa Kwano, the youth over there blocked the road that they will not allow the trucks to pass over there because they are the cause of the damaging of that road. Into what I will ask our chiefs, including Nana being the our father of our union, that what is he discussing with the panel? That is his chief. So that they can also bring ideas, they can also bring their support to come and help us. How will you feel if 12 months you've not been paid? You have kids, you have a wife, you have a husband that you need to support, and you don't have nothing to go home with it. Schools have been opening, you can't even pay for your books, you can't even pay for your school fees. It is very pathetic. In fact, as a man, you can't even call yourself a man at home because you don't have anything to give to your children or to even give to your wife. If you don't have a good wife at home, there will always be a fight. Into one case, you are being frustrated at home, plus the work too. Into your someone I am for no
I'm from the Western region. I'm from a Hunter West, so I know what I'm talking about. Nana, please, you are the only people that can help railway if you step into this.
All right.
Please help us.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you. Just a reminder that we're on Radio Max. We're also on New Day TV. Brace, why don't we get maybe a brief comment from Nana on that?
Okay,
and then,
why not?
Yeah, and then we take some more.
That will be awesome.
An appeal to you that the chiefs ought to intervene so we revamp the rail sector.
The lady who spoke over there, she stood up, not talking about you, and said she's the daughter of railway workers. I'm the son of a railway man, and I proudly say it anywhere. But two, I get emotional talking about the railways, mainly because I knew what the railway was, and I've seen it the way it is now. And it's sad when the lady is talking, and then I remember I wasn't in the country at the time, but I heard the young one saying, the revolution continues unabated. And I said, that's a railway woman talking. Please give her a round of applause. But we're in a conversation, and I think that what Joy is doing to do with sustainable mobility and so on. Look, the tall, the long, and the short of it is the railway line. So it's really a non-talk, but we're still sitting here. And I came mainly because the House of Chiefs, which I've been a part of for about 30 years, and besides that, I get personal visits from ministers and other. We've been talking about the railwaymen all the time. There used to be a railway station, a proper railway station, the old one that Kesley Hayford talked about in his Ethiopia Unbound, 1911. He talked about the railway station. I discussed it with railway people. So now we will leave that station and build a new one. But the old one, we agree with you, we'll use it as a museum. Because that is where the railway workers worked or used to fight for our independence. One morning I got up and the building was gone. And it's because those who do not know, they don't have any sentimental or emotional attachment. They are not emotionally integrated to the railways. They've been in control. They don't understand. Railway is just not just go and bring China Rail here, and give them the design. And if you like, close your mind. They'll build the railways for you and then you go. It's as simple as ABC, but that's not what we all want. We want to be involved. When you ask the regional minister, I was sitting here about the security system, people not chopping, because they don't feel they belong, that the thing belongs to us. That feeling that this is our railways, this particular thing belongs to us, is not there. And it's a problem throughout the whole country. It's actually the two publics in Africa, which Peter Eke will talk about, but that's another issue.
Right.
I'll be running off soon.
Yeah, we will, but let me then go into the audience for some few more interventions. Yes.
Pastor Medasi. Me free a hunter assassin. Na cancer be. I want to pass me Bemukakra. Nana bisa me nanom say Kasarmoti ana almost Debbie. Right. See, I can't hear ya. I said, you can't you kasa ewa, but entwin basa anso. Intankasa said there, you to tum. Now we are the Omotiasie. I must almost coffee. They be so called. Yes, I'm kind. Also, be there. Also, be a car. But a man is a brofun kwanede a coso. But we don't come brofunebi. Meba railway asamso. Jafame railway. 2nd November 1990. So next month on the 2nd, 35 years in service. Time I remember railway, no railway yes on it here. Railway SS follow 1994. SS follow 1994 up to date. Now we shall abanya ko. Ayadia omo the railway at the pesika and the mamuhu. Omko amonane kaka say oh ye be railway say timo ma iska na iska there ye the ama omo ba omo fa yan hwe. Mekai say Yenua Jogati obegye radio so television so can say Omo award wagons, momo yede, omo de ba. A value $230 million. Samukaya, me de me kai pa. So we show railway from Takrade to Awaso, siding 148 miles away. 148 miles away. From Takrade to Insuta, 37 miles per. Yentumi enye. Yentumi enye. I didn't think me ye no. Omo to talk trucks e dey go kwan no so. Nti omo man rail for. Yempeli for omo man rail for no, especially politicians. Okay. Omo man rail for. As at now, a young man like me, 1 year no salary. Why? Nti me ba na school no. Me ko yin school mbra fie. Oba juma be na obeye. Obekwa galamse ya na. Obekwa kaya mroba na. Yebeye ne dey.
Okay.
Na nanom. Madam Wasi.
Okay, looks like the rail workers have some concerns. So that's what many of them have been expressing.
Yeah, what he's basically saying is that he's been in railway for over 30 years. Let me just say over 30 years. He spent close to 35 years. Now, he says it started deteriorating around 94. And that all government that have come, successive government, they've only used railway to their own gains. They've never really thought about developing the railways. He says as he stands here, 1 year now, he's not received any salary. All right. So he's asking, what should he do?
What should be done? Okay,
right.
great. We'll be wrapping up shortly. So, Grace, I think would have to be very brief with some of the interventions so that we can wrap up.
Good afternoon. This railway issue, sometimes you are so emotional. No, I mean myself. I don't want even to comment. But listening to what has been said, I'd like to say one or two things. One, if they are not paying you, it is the fault of the railway people. I'm going to explain to you. If the Railway Development Authority, their representative is here, I haven't read your railway development plan, the 20 years, 4,000 kilometers, $22 billion. It's good, but it's not a priority. Going to Burkina Faso is merely vote fishing. It's not a priority. If you do the existing rail lines well, the Burkina Faso lines will come naturally. So you are pursuing a non-priority program. If we believe that our country, regardless of the colonial history, we still need the bauxite, we still need the manganese, then why don't we do those lines that will bring the money and pay the railway workers, and then stop these Burkina Faso Kominini funny things? And if we do those lines, then we can impose mandatory models so that there will be no trucks. Everybody will use the rail line and you will make the money. Because passenger services like the Mpakadan one don't bring money that can pay back. So if I say they are not paying you 12 years, it is your fault. It is your fault. When they brought you the idea that railway development community 30 years, 22 billion, I don't think how you reacted. So please,
thank you.
Please sit up with the authorities from today. Tell them to do the triangular lines. If you say you haul cocoa today, on which line has integrity today for you to haul the cocoa? Union, I'm asking you, Western line has no integrity. We saw it yesterday in the television. We saw how the miners have removed even the lines. So if you want to haul manganese, if you want to haul bauxite and pay yourselves, ask them to do those lines, regardless whether it is colonial.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that intervention. I think we should take just two more, then I come back upstage so we can call it a day then. Yes.
My name is Emmanuel Ni Adote. I'm happy our leaders say a lot about this railway line. And I want to ask, for how long are they going to start and finish? Because sometimes I'm a driver. Sometimes when you see these tippers with this small car, like the way my brother said, it's very serious and dangerous thing. And like we say, who owns the trucks? So if God open a way or door to us to get a railway line, like the way Kenya, just Kenya, here Kenya, they have a railway line. Correct railway line in just Kenya here. Why don't you do the same in this country? So that our roads should be free. Contractors are not making road for just these tippers to be destroying the road. When the tipper just passes seconds, go back and just went and check the road. You see how the road is. So I'm pleading with you people. We should ask our leaders, for how long is it going to take to finish the railway line?
All right. Thank you. I see there's so much interest in this. Yeah, okay, right.
Thank you. My name is Cecilia Ansan from Takrade Market. And I've said this long ago, 2018, as Nanan Katia is in a chair. And today too, I'm saying it, that I don't understand. You create something, and you call us to come and sit and listen, or follow you and set our mind. But if you went away, nothing else come out. Like today, you have called us. We have stopped doing a business, and we are here to converse with what is going on. But leaders, we beg you have to take action. The leaders, political leaders, they are deceiving us. See what is on the television. And today I'm telling you that as you have come in to listen to our words, let the word be word for us. That you will do what we are saying. All that they are saying is to help us to work, to get work in this town, so that our Ghana will improve. We thank you.
Thank you so much for that comment. But I just have to point out that I'm not holding brief for the regional minister. He said he had some other engagements for the day, so probably that's why you don't have him here all throughout. So I'm not speaking for the regional minister, but that's the official explanation he gave us. So I just have to put that out. Yes, Brace, let's take a few. Let's take a few more. Yes, let's take a few.
Let's come to this young man here.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Barnabas Sanka. Mine is about the minister's actions. Was he not told that we are going to have a program today? I think you seek his permission before coming. So he should have given you the appropriate time and date so that you'll be able to sit here and listen. Now, he's the first person to communicate this meeting to the president, though the media will do your part. But he will be the first person to call the president and tell him what is going on here. But he just left. He spent not more than 30 minutes here. He's gone. As my mother is saying, it's not fine. So what's the essence of this program? Now, my concern is with what this man said. Act 208, Act 779, that is concerning the GRDA. MPP or the government, the president of Ghana, President Kufuor, established this act that there should be a regulators for Ghana Railway, and that is the GDRA. Now, they claim they are the sole owners of the properties of railway. Now, my brother, the one from GPRTU, my brother, you are a driver. Now, who owns the road? Is it not the government? Who maintains the road? Is it not the government? Is GPRTU? Are you the people maintaining the roads? So if GRDA is claiming that they are the sole owners of Ghana Railway, they own the properties, and they sell the properties because they own it. They sell them. Now, why is it that they are not maintaining the rail lines for us? I'm also a railway worker. Why are they not maintaining the road, the rails for us? The railway, we have to do it. Sometimes we have to do it. Sometimes the government will bring money for the maintenance. But they claim they are the sole owners. So it's not fair what they are doing to us.
Right.
So please, we've advocated for this, that they should abolish that this act. It's not helping railway.
All right.
So we plead they should abolish it for us.
All right, we're grateful. Because Nana also has some more engagements for the day. Brace, just hold on. Let's take the concluding remarks of Nana, and because I'm sure that we can open up the floor more to hear more interactions.
First, let me thank you for having this. The more we talk, one day, God will hear us in the sky. But, Madam, thank you for coming here and wearing the Ghana. Yeah, I just saw that. I said, that's fantastic. No wonder you said what you did. Uncle, let me hold brief for the regional minister. He's only been in office for about 7 months, right? And I think that he appreciates what we're doing. But this meeting, this conversation, was initially built for the Minister for Transport, not the regional minister. And then who else? There was some, and the CEO of Railways. So the regional minister probably just came in to fill the thing. So let's hold brief for him for the meantime. About monies being paid, ask these people. There are always Railways people in my house asking for money to support them. And they've forgotten that I'm a retired teacher, even though I'm a chief. But yabayen then, oyaza yetsun. Na yabompe mayami de pobibain ni boje ne sunsumen. Thank
you so much, Nana. And we'll go to Professor Emeritus online. And Prof, while you make the point, Nana will take leave of us. But you've been listening to some of the comments so far. Any intervention so far?
Thank you very much. I think that perhaps I heard somebody talk about the railway master plan, the 2020-2035 master plan. To be fair to the company and the supervising authority, I think the people, all of us assembled here, may not be adequately informed about what it contains. I'm aware that they've held a number of stakeholder engagements throughout the country, but it's very surprising to know that in Takoradi, it does not appear that they've held even a few of them. So my plea is that perhaps Ghana Railway Development Authority and then the Ghana Railway Company Limited should find a way of engaging the community a little more. And then the authority should also make sure that the contents of their plan is publicized. So far, it does appear that if we have been adequately informed, the questions about Pakadan and so on, the fact that it comes up to nothing, and so on. We should understand that the railway is not constituted by just one mode of transport, which is the rail. It's integrated with all the others. We're also talking about a national transport policy. These are all things that we can weave together, and this is where I think that I'll request that, if it's possible, the company and the authority thinks about further engagements with our communities. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's move back into the audience. We need to be wrapping up by now. So, Brace, let's take a few more comments and then we can wrap up.
Thank you very much. Please, I want to comment on the economic values of railway. In fact, I've been in the service for 24 years now. Now, economically, railway produces much revenue through the freight services. And it offers also very good services to the general public. You see, the local produce that we produce from the towns like Opon Valley, in Susaisin, which also help the local indigents in these communities. Because of railway was out of service, some of these things that has created poverty to many Ghanaians in this country. So we are using this platform to advise the general Ghanaian that railway is very vital in terms of economic issue, transportation. So we are telling Ghanaians that we should not take the idea that freight nowadays, bauxite and manganese are being conveyed on the road. Therefore, rail is not important is neglected. And these galamsees too, we are advising them that railway is not dead, railway is not collapsed. We want to advise that railway is very, very vital and can support the general public as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for
because we want to take a lot of your thought. Please make it brief when you get the opportunity.
Yeah, very brief. Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity. Joyce, I've been following you online. You have been doing a good work over the time on railways. The previous, truth be told, the previous government started some work from Kojo Krom to Uni Valley. They've assigned a contract to Amandi Construction. Please, I want you to draw the attention of this current government on that project, so that if they see if there's any potential there, they can at least expedite the work so that these problems of railways will partially be solved. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Blessed.
We need to wrap up. So I'll just take two more and then we're done. Yes, sir. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Isaac Kofi-Essien, railway staff. For the benefit of the audience, from politicians, so-called politicians. I learned the manganese bauxite. 2000, Ghana bauxite, Ghana manganese. They were cooperation to build the rail line sector. But the government of the day refused it. The government of the day refused. Why? Because of their personal interest. So, say, yen peninofono, so when yet some nanakatano. So when you go and that's I got what do you call it? A quani was over the way. Say a quani, that's as a what do you call it? Tracks at the fada, as I say now. Race sector at the whole. I'm a partner today. Into the best right there. Say, Ghana money, I'm a payment will be no. So pay money you go things are. Then on my railway on that model. All right. Not data. Oh yeah. You know what I say.
So to the last comment in the
young man here, okay.
The gentleman there.
But I think we all got what he meant, right? That he wants government to focus on railway in developing this country.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Na mestre na misumaka twi kakra. Bra yaka challenges are office railway sector no yaka there or there infrastructure and other facilities, you know. You repair no. Now I feel you to train for mobile railway jumano obekodo. Now so I back where they you news there. Our there ye na ye boa na yama kasa no kosro. Kasa obekosro no ama policy a obema ejumano akodo. Say there or there inyama oma ejumani bafem. Today goods are wakati fi takwana de na wode call other places na cars ni ye de mejuma no on benefit general public no nti ade a wode ye hwe ni ye pa na hwe mo sia ye bitimi aye emra bia obe benefit the general public sane wa ban.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Let me come on stage. So okay, I see one more hand up.
Exactly. Yeah. So what he's asking policymakers to focus on the things that will benefit the people and not just do things as they were. He says that, but the talking should continue so that we can get policymakers to listen to what we need.
So here's what I want us to do. I want to take the final comments from you, and then maybe we'll leave the floor open for as many comments as we can have. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
We can hear you. Yes.
Thank you. With the union, we have for comment to make concern because initially now railway near the drive of the nation otim then you need to do other public service no eduma one akitu asem na ade by for as we are saying the politicians no one the bad mind of the politicians. That's why they brought in the 209 Act. That's the JRD, the authority. All our problem has been the authority for now. The acts need to be reviewed so that we sit down because the act says that if you invested the asset into the hands of the authority, where they find the opportunity to sell the asset to. This is another thing that we are telling the government through the media, that we need to sit down and then review their acts. Other companies have the authority, but the authority are using their powers to help establish and sustain their other companies. But this authority is using its powers to collapse GRCL, and now GRCL is totally collapsed. Secondly, we believe we are telling government that they should construct the road rail line to Insuta and Awaso for us to all the manganese and the bauxite. By constructing these two roads, rail lines, we will through the PPP, we will award the manganese and the bauxite, where the government can even get dividend to do other rail lines. So government can depend on us than thinking of, we are not saying even in Pakadan, but we think that in Pakadan, in a way, it's useless. Because they should have used that resource to construct to the standard gauge to Insuta, and then we try to go to Awaso. Then we can get the bauxite, but they've done it. It's a passenger freight. We don't get anything. It's a social intervention. So what we are telling government right now that, for now, we should get to Insuta. We can hold the manganese, and then they get dividend from it to do other. As our father said, naturally, the construction of the rail lines will come.
Yeah, you need to be brief about that.
And
so
even
that we can
lastly,
yes.
Due to the problem of railway now, you can see that dollar will come down. So many things will come down, but still food will be expensive. Why? Because we are not saying that our drivers on road, but from the near villages, food can spend like 1 week on the, but rail, just minutes, we'll get it. So now that's why we are having shortage of food. There's no affordability of food stuff. So we are telling the government, say, make sure that you made Insuta, my arching, manganese, obetim through PPP, obenyahu dividend, no team they construct other rail, not sustainability of the railway, no, with Mabado.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
Blessed. So it's important we let our audience know that.
Okay, because I wanted to take. Okay, so let's do a few more.
Okay, yes.
Very briefly, please. So because we need to wrap up. We need to wrap up. Yes.
As we understand, the president.
So that's the deputy general secretary. Okay.
The president is watching you now.
Right.
So speak to him directly. What you want him to do in the railways for you.
All right. Thank you very much. My name is Garba Hamidou, and I'm the deputy general secretary of the Railway Workers Union. My issue is I'm having a problem with the act, which is govern railways than GRDA. As my boss said, there is a problem at the front there. In terms of selling, this GRDA, they are selling government bungalows. My brother, after this very program, I can go and point it out. I can go and point out bungalows or quarters that are being sold by GRDA. And the act says clearly, yes, rest houses and others, they are selling it anyhow, as if the quarters and everything belongs to them. And it's not for them. My point is,
okay,
we, the union, are calling for immediate review of the Act 779. That is my question.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Very important.
Because, Grace, this is what we'll do. Let's hear from the ambassador of his impression so far, and then we'll take that as his concluding remarks. So we can, of course, if he has any other engagements, you have the opportunity to do so. So we take his brief remarks, and then we'll get back into the audience. Right.
So I guess he's putting his thought together.
Yeah. So let's do that now, and then we can get back to it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for this discussion. It was very interesting. I think this is I've seen a very vivid democracy and very vivid, passionate discussion. So thank you a lot for this. I just want to clarify this. Climate talks are organized by the German embassy together with JoyNews. We've invited the minister to come here, and we are very grateful and honored that he joined us. And we thank you very much. I think we will go on with this discussion and see where it leads.
We're
thank
grateful,
you so much.
and of course we'll see you on the next train. That's the German ambassador to Ghana. Please, a round of applause for him for their support for this. So, right. So Brace, yes, we can round off with
exactly. There are a lot of people who want to speak, so
we can just quickly round off.
I'm Prince Eje Nkrumah from Ghana Railway. Now, Minkone local or a simple railway is Ghana, Ghana is railway. If you are saying President John Dramani Mahama is watching me, then we want a change in the law, that out of the act, we want a change. Many people thought there a change. Many people want Obiadwin there. Railway not tonnage party, railway no a day. But in the make a change paying more biata today. Railway need to be auton bibiala or a GRDA no auton. We are back there. Railway for ton as a Dabi Bangalore's Wharton. Yenesas Wharton. Wajiji Kumasi de Accra de Takrade de Wharton. Yenen in Adunya there. Previous government he wababa no betumi agene free. I have a letter out there. As at now, a bin Wharton ade for which is bad to Ghana Railway. Another one, Miss Brown. I saw me catch up here there. Womenya a reshem GD. Ewa banum there. Obotuma abua railway. Ye odina ade no hodi. But women fan to name obeye. Me don't want to say.
All right. We'll just pick 2 more calls. This man and then Napo. Okay, and then the other one. Then we can wrap up.
The from Antonio Misa, with Heavy Duty Drivers Association. Me they say program Rabaso. Me a truck driver. Na media say you should trucks for kwan so a. Maybe I can how many to. The same politicians na. Say kwan no just 1 year from Takwa Aguna to Aguna Kwan Takwa na say. Me a truck driver. Nimpa ewu okwan no so no. E do so say omo a sabi omu ya aduane di. Nti me dey so mutwum a e ba bua me. Omu yisu re na ebeboa me na mbom railway workers no yesre se eba so a omu bia omfama akomapa na adwumopa emfanya adwuma because tanka we share this area baby oil marketing company sorry BDC is no one omu tra checkpoint no bodo no bia ni ho train ba na ebo tankers umwa na tanka bia tanka ni twom driver no nim pan nimpa no te checkpoint no ni ho. And until the Biana Yancy, why you this until railway Lankasano, company Lankasano, I abandon address and so I'm a private. Maybe me coming qua there, you're from a private owned company, but not one day or managing. Because I quite abide there into Biana or pet. Intimestre, say railway workers on with him, say a baswa, won't fit him fine any Akumapa, and for Yajuma, Nancy and supporting Madam Wasi.
Now he is a long haulage driver, he says. Looking at the Takwa Grand Contour Road and the way it's deteriorating, it's important we get the railway lines working. But he wants the railway workers to also be committed when that happens. And he's also proposing that looking at how Ghanaians are, we should privatize the railways for it to be more beneficial.
Brace, that will be the last one because we have to wrap up. Yes.
Thank you. My name is Napoleon Ajimano-Dro, the Assembly Member for Kojokrom Electoral Area. In the 80s, railway was Kojokrom was railways. And I had that vision to work with railways in the 80s. In the middle of the 90s, I had to let go of that vision because I started railway was beginning to deteriorate. So I reversed my vision to work with railways, and I have not regretted. I mean, per what they are saying, I have not regretted telling my vision. I just want to make a point that from 90s till now, railways started going down. And I think that is due to political interferences in the activities of railways. That is a long discussion and another day discussion. But I want to make a point that you are here or you are where you are today because of political interference. And maybe another day we shall engage that discussion.
Okay,
thank
grateful
you.
for your time. And on that note, we want to thank all of you for joining us on Climate Talks. We're grateful to the German people. We're grateful to the German mission here in Ghana for supporting us and for making this a lived reality. The next time you should be on the lookout. We may be in your community next. My name is Blair Sugan. I'm grateful for your company. Back to you in the studio, and I'm sure that you'd have so much more as excerpts from the show. With a round of applause, let's give it up for all of our audience and those who did the viewing for today. Thank you. And it's a wrap from us. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.